Let's move into our fourth and final main topic today. And our fourth and final main topic gets sent into us by SlevinBeam. And SlevinBeam writes, it's been reported that Demolition Man 2 is in the works. What? Why? I asked myself when I read the article, is Warner Brothers that hard up for content? Almost 30 years after the original, I'm probably not the only one asking those questions. What are your thoughts? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Slevin. And now listen, it should be clarified that there are some places running and saying it's official, it's happening. It's not official. It's very, very clearly not official, but it is being looked at and it is kind of being developed, and maybe they can make something out of it. Sylvester Stallone himself was doing like a Q&A sort of thing, and he was asked directly about a Demolition Man sequel, which seems like a ridiculous question to ask. However, he surprised the world. Stallone was asked, this comes from Dark Horizons, Stallone was asked directly about the possibility of a sequel and surprised everybody with the answer, I think there is coming. We're working on it right now with Warner Brothers, and it's looking fantastic. So that should come out. That's going to happen. So Sylvester Stallone is saying that they are indeed going to be having, they're going to be having a Demolition Man 2. Now, listen, we should also say that there have been other times that Stallone in his career said something is going to happen and it didn't. And that's fine. That happens with every filmmaker. Every studio's got films they put in development, doesn't actually come out, doesn't actually work. But Rob, I find it fascinating, just on its own, that they're even contemplating doing a Demolition Man. I mean, a couple of questions come to mind. One, isn't it far too late to do a sequel to this? Number two, is there even a story to tell as a follow-up to the first Demolition Man? Three, is there enough of an audience that still remember the first Demolition Man that would be intrigued to go? And more importantly, would a new generation of fans want to go out and support it? And listen, I'm not necessarily sitting here saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying I think there are some logical questions to ask about the feasibility about doing this. But hey, at the same time, if there's a concept, why not kick the tires a little bit? Why not? Like if you've got development money, why not hire a screenwriter and say, hey, see what you can do with this, and let's see if there's anything there that can be done. And if the results sort of look good, then you take the next step in the development and see where it goes. And maybe at some point it gets to the point that it actually gets greenlit. Still a lot of questions here, Rob. So let me ask you, you hear Sylvester Stallone's words on this. What do you think about the idea of them doing another Demolition Man?
Well, you know, I actually, when I first heard this, I'm thinking, okay, because of the toilet paper crisis at the beginning of the COVID-19 thing, and everyone's talking about the 3 seashells and everything. So Demolition Man is in the air and everywhere. But then I actually started thinking about, like, okay, what could you do? And the model for this, believe it or not, I was thinking about is Creed. Because you know, the first film, you have these two men unfrozen in the future. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't there be someone else that could be unfrozen? You know, their time is up, and you'd have somebody new, a young character like an Adonis Creed, maybe not a cop, but somebody else, maybe a military officer that was wrongfully convicted of war crimes or something, and that person seeks out what's his character's name in the movie? So
I cannot remember.
Well, the guy seeks out the only person on Earth that would have any understanding of his experience. And remember, the world would be Stallone's character, and he'd probably be retired because he's in his 70s. So you've got this new character, and there's some new problem, and maybe there's a whole group of people that were also unfrozen that this guy had a beef with 60 or 70 years before, terrorists from today who have been unleashed on the future, and he has to go after them. Sort of a Nicholas Meyer, Time After Time. If you've seen that movie, I love that movie. And Stallone becomes a supporting character like he was in the movie Creed. And I think it could be pretty badass. You could come up with a pretty, I mean, it sounds stupid, to be honest, but I think the plot could actually work. I really think that this could have a totally legit plot. You have a new bunch of characters, and Stallone becomes a supporting character like he was in Creed, and I think it could work. You could bring Sandra Bullock back. You can even bring Wesley's. Well, you can't bring Wesley Snipes back, but I think it could work, dude. It could work. I'm in.
Why can't you bring Wesley Snipes back? They could find a way. I mean, they worked together again on the last Expendables movie. Or if you want to follow the Creed analogy, just have him now like, Wesley Snipes' great grandson is now there and out for revenge.
Right.
If you really want to follow the Creed motif. I mean, I know there might be some, the Creed analogy is nice. I like that. That could be a working theory there. All right, guys, question is for you. Would you be would you be interested in a Demolition Man 2? I think if this had been floated like 15 years ago, I think I would have a little bit more interest in. I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm at least curious about it, but I'm not sure. There seems like there would be a lot of hurdles. Maybe you guys can see ways over those hurdles. Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.